What's up guys, WSC Stage Creator back again with another video. Today I have your Elimination Chamber 2021 review and we are on the road to WrestleMania, and one massive speed bump came in the form of a new champion. We have two new champions and a massive match confirmed for WrestleMania. We'll get into all the details of this show right now. So starting off, we had the kickoff match, which was a fatal four-way to determine who would be in the triple threat match for the United States Championship. It was supposed to be Riddle versus Lashley versus Keith Lee, but Keith Lee injured, and man, things are going from bad to worse for Keith Lee, man. Jeez, he missed the Royal Rumble. He was potentially one of the winners of that, and then he has this opportunity here, and who knows, maybe he was booked to win. I still think Riddle probably would have won, but who knows? Keith Lee may have been booked to win that, but now he's injured. I mean, things sucking for Keith Lee right now. I hope he can bounce back. But we had a fatal four-way match between Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, John Morrison, and Elias. Pretty fun match here. The end came when Retribution screwed over Ricochet, and then Ali was distracted and John Morrison rolled him up to win. John Morrison went into the triple threat match later on in the night. Then we kicked off the show with this Smackdown Elimination Chamber match. The winner would face Roman Reigns that very night. Immediately after they would face Roman Reigns. This match consisted of Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, King Corbin, Kevin Owens, and Jey Uso. I'll go through some highlights of the match here. It was Cesaro and Sami Zayn fighting on the chamber wall. It looked really cool shot. Sami Zayn got dropped from the top of the chamber wall all the way down to the chamber floor. That looked pretty cool. Cesaro made Corbin tap out. He eliminated him. Moonsault off the pod from Kevin Owens onto everybody. Jey trapped Kevin Owens' arm in the door and then super kicked him a bunch of times, hit the splash, eliminated Kevin Owens. And before that, Kevin Owens had eliminated Sami Zayn with a stunner. Then Jey eliminated Cesaro from the match, and it came down to Jey Uso and Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan picked up the win after Jey Uso. He went up to the top of the pod. Bryan got the knees up when Uso went for the Uso splash from the top of the pod, hit the running knee. Daniel Bryan won the match, but he could barely stand after it. He was beaten, he was battered, he could not do anything. He was really screwed up. He could not get to his feet. Roman Reigns came out right after. He showed up and won in a very short match, beat him with the guillotine and just made him pass out in a really short match. Basically getting that heel heat. Roman Reigns been doing this type of thing for a while now, and yeah, Roman Reigns looks dominant here. I don't think that'll be the last of Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. I'm sure we'll get that down the line. But then after the match, Edge came out and delivered a spear, a little bit of payback to Roman Reigns from what happened on Smackdown. Then he pointed to the WrestleMania sign, pyro goes off, and this is confirmed: Roman Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Edge has made up his mind, and this is going to be a big WrestleMania main event. After that, we had a confrontation between The Miz and 24/7 champion Bad Bunny backstage, who slapped The Miz, and then Damian Priest got in The Miz's face. I'll tell you what I think about that later on in the show, because I have some theories about what's going to happen with The Miz as champion. But next match, we had the United States Championship triple threat match. It was Lashley defending the title against Riddle and John Morrison, and now Riddle's been getting beaten week in and week out by Lashley, and finally Riddle gets the job done here. In the end, Riddle uses MVP's crutch. I think MVP's legit injured, and he used his crutch, hit Lashley when he's had the hurt lock on John Morrison, and Lashley was taken out by that, and then a bro Derek to John Morrison, and Riddle became the new United States champion, and I'm so happy about this. I'm a big fan of Riddle. I think this is really good. I cannot wait to see what he does as champion. He has great matches, great intensity, he's very entertaining. I think he is a future really big star in WWE. He is really good, and I can't wait to see what he does as champion. Hopefully it's for a lengthy period of time. We'll have to wait and see on that. By the way, the Evel Knievel inspired attire by Riddle, that was awesome. Hopefully maybe we might get that as a figure down the line. That was really cool. Then the next match was the Women's Tag Team Championship match. It was Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And basically what happened in the end was Reginald came out. He tried to help Sasha Banks cheat and gave her a wine bottle to use to help her cheat, but she didn't want to cheat. She wanted to do things the right way, but it cost her. Nia Jax hit the Samoan drop drop and won the match. And I think it's pretty obvious we're going to get Bianca versus Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. I think that's going to be really, really good. We'll have to wait and see if Sasha Banks turns heel or something, or maybe it's going to be babyface versus babyface. I am a big fan of Reginald. Reginald is really talented. I really like what they're doing with him. I think it's pretty entertaining. Then after this, we saw The Miz backstage talking to MVP. What are these guys cooking up here? We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I have some theories about this. I think it's pretty obvious from what we just saw with MVP and Miz talking backstage that this was all orchestrated, but we'll talk about the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. I did a prediction figure match of this on the channel, go check it out, but it was Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy versus Kofi Kingston versus AJ Styles. Pretty good Elimination Chamber match. You know, none of these two chamber matches tonight were anything like too special. They were pretty good, pretty decent. You know, Elimination Chamber isn't one of my favorite matches. I prefer like Hell in a Cell over it, but they're usually pretty decent matches. We had some cool spots during the night that will be played in video packages for years to come, but overall, the matches weren't anything too special, but we'll get into the details of this match. This match saw Orton and Jeff Hardy start the match. It was a very shocking moment when Orton got rolled up by Kofi Kingston and eliminated, and I was really shocked about that. I expected to see The Fiend come out, cost him the match or something. Randy Orton was an absolute afterthought in this matchup, really shocking to see. Then after that, Randy Orton went crazy, RKOing everybody, pissed off. Then Omos ripped off the chamber pod to help AJ Styles get in the match earlier to try and pick up the win, but he couldn't get the job done. He couldn't eliminate anybody he tried to, and Omos got kicked out of the match. He was ejected. Some cool moments we saw in the match. We saw a Tower of Doom. We saw Kofi splash onto everybody off the pod. We saw a Whisper in the Wind off the pod by Jeff Hardy. Sheamus eliminated Kofi Kingston. Drew eliminated Jeff Hardy. AJ Styles eliminated Sheamus, which I was really shocked about. And then they had a really, really cool finish where AJ Styles goes for the phenomenal forearm, but gets a Claymore in midair. That was really cool. Really liked how they did that. And then after the match, Drew McIntyre retains the title as I predicted, but the night was not over there, oh no. Now I'm a big fan of Bobby Lashley. I said on Twitter that he should have lost the United States Championship, and that was a good thing because then he could focus on the WWE title, and that is exactly what they did here. Bobby Lashley went after Drew McIntyre, beat him up, just so he could help The Miz win the WWE Championship and cash in the Money in the Bank contract, win the title. Very shocking turn of events here. So Miz and Lashley in the Hurt Business all in cahoots, and I assume Lashley is looking for a title match with Miz, gonna verse the weaker champion in The Miz, and Lashley's gonna look for that title match because he helped The Miz win, so he expects a favor in return. I think that's a deal that Miz and MVP cooked up. So I could see one or two things. I could see Lashley beating Miz for the title going into WrestleMania, or I could see Drew beating Miz and regaining the championship before WrestleMania, and Bad Bunny will cost The Miz the match, setting up a tag match with Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, John Morrison, and The Miz at WrestleMania, and setting up Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania in some form. I think more likely it will be Drew McIntyre regaining the title than versing Lashley, but it could go either way. But I'm a big fan of Lashley. I would love him to be WWE Champion. That would be really cool. I thought it was a big money match, Bobby Lashley versus Drew last year at Backlash, and I would love to see it again at WrestleMania. So I think that was a really cool, very interesting finish to the show. The Miz wins the WWE Championship. I think that's pretty cool, but I don't think he'll hold it for too long. I don't think he'll be champion at WrestleMania. But very cool turn of events in the end of the show. Pretty decent show, not too long of a show, very short, not too many matches, but we got another pay-per-view, Fastlane. So I wonder what's going to happen there. Probably Miz versus Drew or Lashley versus Miz. We'll have to wait and see on that. But comment down below what you thought of this show, what you think will happen with The Miz as champion going into WrestleMania. Did you like the show? Did you not? Comment all that down below. Please smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. We got so many cool things planned. You don't want to miss out on it, so definitely subscribe. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. On the road to WrestleMania, baby.